Self-doubt is an insidious force that can undermine our potential, hinder personal growth, and keep us from achieving our goals. It manifests in various forms, from questioning our abilities and decisions to feeling like an imposter in areas where we should feel confident. It often begins as a subtle whisper and over time builds into a loud voice that drowns out self-assurance. Everyone experiences self-doubt at some point, whether in personal, academic, or professional contexts. However, recognizing and understanding self-doubt is the first step toward overcoming it. Self-doubt typically arises from a variety of sources, both internal and external. It can stem from our past experiences, upbringing, social pressures, and even our biology. Sometimes it is linked to the desire for perfection or the fear of failure. These fears can be particularly prevalent in high-pressure environments where performance is scrutinized and the consequences of failure seem immense. It can also arise when we face new challenges or situations where we feel unprepared. The voice of self-doubt tells us that we are not enough, that we lack the necessary skills or traits, or that we are bound to fail. One of the most common causes of self-doubt is the fear of failure. People often associate failure with judgment or a lack of worth, leading to a reluctance to take risks or pursue new opportunities. The idea of failure becomes paralyzing, and the thought of not succeeding keeps many from even trying. The pressure to be perfect or the belief that success should come easily can exacerbate this fear. However, it is essential to understand that failure is not a reflection of who we are. Rather, it is an experience that provides valuable lessons in growth. Many successful individuals, from athletes to entrepreneurs, have faced multiple failures before achieving their greatest accomplishments. They are not immune to self-doubt, but have learned to navigate through it, using setbacks as stepping stones rather than reasons to give up. Another contributor to self-doubt is societal expectations and external pressures. From a young age, we are often taught to meet certain standards set by others, whether by our families, teachers, peers, or society at large. These expectations can be unrealistic and may not align with our own values or capabilities. When we fall short of these ideals, we may internalize the belief that we are not good enough. This external pressure is particularly pervasive in social media culture, where comparisons are constantly made, and curated images of success and happiness can make us feel inadequate. The constant need to measure up to others' successes can trigger feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt, even if we have no reason to doubt our own abilities. The negative thought patterns associated with self-doubt can also be influenced by our upbringing and early experiences. If we grew up in an environment where criticism outweighed encouragement or where success was the only acceptable outcome, we might develop an inner voice that perpetually doubts our worth. This voice, often referred to as the inner critic, constantly judges our actions and thoughts. It can stem from the desire to protect us from failure or disappointment, but it often becomes overly critical, undermining our confidence. These patterns of thought can be deeply ingrained, affecting how we perceive ourselves and interact with the world around us. Self-doubt can also be linked to a lack of self-awareness. When we do not recognize or acknowledge our strengths and achievements, we are more likely to doubt ourselves. In this context, self-doubt is rooted in a lack of confidence in our abilities, even when there is ample evidence of our competence. People who struggle with self-doubt often underestimate their talents or dismiss their accomplishments as mere luck or coincidence. They may attribute success to external factors rather than recognizing their own hard work and capability. This lack of self-awareness can make it difficult to build the confidence needed to break free from self-doubt and pursue goals with conviction. Moreover, self-doubt often manifests in feelings of imposter syndrome, where individuals believe they are undeserving of their success and fear being exposed as frauds. This feeling is common in high-achieving individuals, particularly in professional or academic settings. Despite external recognition or tangible accomplishments, the individual feels like they don't truly belong or that they have somehow cheated their way to success. Imposter syndrome is a powerful form of self-doubt that can prevent people from enjoying their achievements and moving forward with their careers. It can also prevent them from seeking new opportunities or stepping into leadership roles for fear of being found out. This phenomenon is not limited to any particular field and affects people from all walks of life. However, recognizing that imposter syndrome is common and that many high achievers have felt it at some point can help normalize the experience and lessen its power. At its core, self-doubt is a defense mechanism. It arises from the natural human instinct to protect ourselves from the pain of failure, judgment, or rejection. However, while self-doubt may protect us in the short term by discouraging us from taking risks, it ultimately keeps us from reaching our full potential. It creates a mental barrier that limits our opportunities and undermines our confidence in our abilities. The longer we allow self-doubt to persist, the more it can impact our mental health, leading to anxiety, depression, and a diminished sense of self-worth. Overcoming self-doubt begins with acknowledging it. Many people try to ignore or suppress their doubts, hoping they will go away on their own. However, this approach often leads to more anxiety and uncertainty. And instead, it is important to accept self-doubt as a natural part of the human experience. By understanding that everyone, no matter how successful, experiences self-doubt at some point, we can begin to reduce its power over us. It becomes less about eliminating self-doubt entirely and more about learning how to manage it effectively. Building self-awareness is another crucial step in overcoming self-doubt. Recognizing and acknowledging our strengths, accomplishments, and past successes can help shift the focus away from what we lack and toward what we have already achieved. It is essential to celebrate progress, no matter how small, and to practice self-compassion when we fall short of our expectations. Rather than beating ourselves up for mistakes or perceived failures, we can use them as opportunities to learn and grow. Cultivating a positive mindset, one that focuses on solutions and growth rather than shortcomings, can help silence the voice of self-doubt and replace it with a more empowering narrative. In the end, self-doubt is not something that can be fully eradicated, but rather something that we must learn to coexist with. It is a reminder that we are stretching beyond our comfort zones and growing into new versions of ourselves. By understanding its roots, recognizing its presence, and taking deliberate action to manage it, we can break free from its limitations and unlock our true potential. The journey to overcoming self-doubt is ongoing, but each step we take towards self-acceptance and self-confidence is a victory in itself. Self-doubt is a universal human experience that can affect anyone, regardless of their achievements or capabilities. It creeps in when you least expect it, casting shadows of uncertainty and hesitation over even the most straightforward tasks. While self-doubt can serve as a signal for reflection, excessive or unrelenting self-doubt can hinder personal growth, stall opportunities, and diminish one's sense of worth. Overcoming self-doubt is not about eliminating it entirely, but about learning to navigate through it with resilience and confidence. This requires intentional strategies, consistent practice, and self-compassion. A critical step in overcoming self-doubt involves recognizing and addressing the root cause. Self-doubt often stems from negative experiences, past failures, or unrealistic expectations set by oneself or society. The weight of comparison, whether to others or to idealized versions of ourselves, often fuels self-doubt. By identifying these sources, one gains clarity on why self-doubt arises in particular situations. For instance, a person who grew up being overly criticized may internalize those voices and continue to doubt their abilities even when they achieve success. Acknowledging these patterns enables an individual to confront them with a more rational perspective. Challenging negative thought patterns is another essential strategy. The mind tends to amplify doubts by fixating on what could go wrong or magnifying perceived flaws. Practicing mindfulness and self-awareness allows individuals to observe these thoughts without immediately accepting them as truths. Replacing negative self-talk with affirming and constructive language can significantly shift one's mindset. For example, instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough," a more constructive thought would be, "I am learning and improving every day." This reframing helps to counter the grip of self-doubt and fosters a more balanced outlook. Building confidence through incremental successes is a powerful antidote to self-doubt. Confidence is not an innate trait, it is cultivated through consistent effort and achievements. By setting small, achievable goals, individuals can accumulate a series of positive experiences that reinforce their belief in their abilities. Each accomplishment, no matter how minor, becomes evidence of one's competence and resilience. Over time, these small victories create a foundation of self-assurance that can withstand moments of doubt. It is essential to celebrate these achievements and remind oneself of past successes, especially during challenging times. Another strategy involves surrounding oneself with supportive and uplifting people. The company you keep plays a crucial role in shaping your self-perception. Positive and encouraging relationships provide validation, motivation, and perspective. Trusted friends, mentors, or family members can offer valuable feedback that counters self-doubt and reinforces one's strengths. Conversely, distancing oneself from toxic relationships or environments that perpetuate negativity can create the emotional space needed to rebuild confidence. Supportive communities, whether professional networks, peer groups, or online forums, can also serve as a source of encouragement and shared wisdom. Practicing self-compassion is integral to overcoming self-doubt. Many people are their harshest critics, holding themselves to impossible standards and berating themselves for any perceived shortcomings. Self-compassion involves treating oneself with kindness and understanding, especially in moments of failure or difficulty. This approach recognizes that everyone makes mistakes and that imperfection is part of being human. By cultivating self-compassion, individuals can reframe setbacks as opportunities for growth rather than evidence of inadequacy. It also fosters resilience, as self-compassionate individuals are less likely to be paralyzed by fear of failure. Taking action despite self-doubt is a transformative step. Waiting for self-doubt to disappear before pursuing a goal often leads to procrastination or missed opportunities. Action builds momentum and helps to dismantle doubt through tangible progress. Even small steps toward a goal can reduce the power of self-doubt by demonstrating capability and persistence. Over time, repeated action creates a positive feedback loop. The more you do, the more confident you become, and the less room there is for doubt to take hold. It's about proving to yourself that you can handle challenges and adapt to circumstances. Learning from failure is another vital aspect of overcoming self-doubt. Failure is often viewed as confirmation of inadequacy, but it can also be a profound teacher. Analyzing what went wrong and how to improve equips individuals with the knowledge and skills to handle similar situations better in the future. Failure becomes less intimidating when it is perceived as a stepping stone rather than an endpoint. Moreover, understanding that everyone, even the most successful individuals, experiences setbacks can normalize the experience and reduce feelings of isolation. Practicing gratitude and focusing on strengths can also help diminish self-doubt. Gratitude shifts attention away from what is lacking and towards what is abundant in one's life. By appreciating personal strengths, achievements, and positive qualities, individuals can counteract the negative bias that self-doubt perpetuates. A daily practice of listing things one is grateful for or moments of pride can cultivate a more optimistic and empowered mindset. This practice reinforces self-worth and reminds individuals of their capabilities and potential. Seeking professional support, such as therapy or coaching, can be instrumental for those struggling with pervasive self-doubt. A trained professional can provide tools and strategies tailored to individual needs, helping to uncover and address deep-seated beliefs that fuel self-doubt. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, for instance, is particularly effective in identifying and challenging negative thought patterns. Coaching, on the other hand, focuses on goal setting and accountability, enabling individuals to take actionable steps toward their aspirations. Professional support offers guidance and structure that can accelerate progress and build confidence. Engaging in continuous learning and skill development is another way to combat self-doubt. Gaining knowledge or honing skills in areas of interest enhances competence and reduces uncertainty. The more equipped an individual feels, the less room there is for self-doubt to flourish. Learning also fosters a growth mindset, the belief that abilities can be developed through effort and practice. This perspective shifts focus from proving oneself to embracing challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. Finally, embracing imperfection is crucial for overcoming self-doubt. Perfectionism often exacerbates doubt by creating unattainable standards and an all-or-nothing mindset. Accepting that mistakes and imperfections are natural parts of life allows individuals to approach tasks with greater ease and confidence. This acceptance does not mean settling for mediocrity, but rather understanding that excellence is a journey, not a fixed state. By letting go of the need for perfection, individuals can focus on progress and creativity instead of being paralyzed by fear of falling short. In conclusion, overcoming self-doubt requires a multifaceted approach that combines self-awareness, action, and support. It is about building a strong foundation of self-belief, embracing imperfections, and fostering resilience in the face of challenges. By implementing these strategies consistently, individuals can navigate through self-doubt and unlock their full potential. The journey is not always linear, but each step forward contributes to a greater sense of confidence and empowerment. Breaking barriers is one of the most powerful actions a person or group can undertake. It is an act that not only defies conventional limits, but also creates opportunities for growth, innovation, and transformation. In both personal and societal contexts, breaking barriers has historically led to progress and change that reverberate across generations. These barriers can be physical, mental, emotional, or social, but when individuals and communities find the courage to transcend them, they often find new strengths, capabilities, and possibilities that were previously unimaginable. This essay explores the significance of breaking barriers, delving into the ways it fosters personal development, societal progress, and global change. One of the most significant barriers that individuals face is the limitation of self-doubt. Many people are constrained by their own fears, uncertainties, and internalized limitations. These barriers often stem from early experiences, societal expectations, or perceived inadequacies. However, breaking the barrier of self-doubt is a vital step toward personal empowerment. Overcoming fear is not an easy feat, and it requires a conscious effort to reframe one's mindset. When a person challenges these mental walls, they begin to unlock their potential. The process may be slow and full of setbacks, but the transformation it engenders is profound. By stepping outside of one's comfort zone, an individual begins to discover new possibilities and talents that they never knew they had. This journey often leads to higher levels of confidence, emotional resilience, and a greater willingness to take risks. Breaking barriers also plays a central role in societal progress. Throughout history, significant social, political, and cultural advancements have occurred when individuals or groups challenge the status quo. For example, the fight for civil rights in the United States, the suffrage movement for women around the world, and the LGBTQ rights movement have all been fueled by the collective desire to break down social barriers. These movements often face intense opposition and resistance, yet they endure and eventually lead to profound social change. In each of these cases, breaking barriers was not merely about achieving equality, it was about reshaping the fabric of society to allow for greater inclusivity and fairness. In the same vein, breaking barriers is essential to innovation and technological progress. History is full of examples of individuals who challenge accepted norms and expectations, leading to breakthroughs that transform the world. In the field of science, figures like Albert Einstein, Marie Curie, and Nikola Tesla pushed against the boundaries of conventional wisdom, leading to discoveries that changed the course of human history. The ability to think beyond the existing framework and question established principles is often what drives the most significant advancements. For instance, the advent of the internet and digital technologies would not have been possible if brilliant minds had not broken barriers in computing, communication, and network theory. In these instances, the act of breaking barriers did not just alter the trajectory of the individuals involved, it altered the trajectory of the world itself. In addition to personal and societal growth, breaking barriers has the power to inspire others. When people witness individuals or groups overcoming significant challenges, it motivates them to take action in their own lives. This is especially true when those who break barriers come from marginalized or underrepresented communities. The stories of those who rise above their circumstances have the potential to inspire countless others to do the same. For example, the life stories of people like Nelson Mandela, Malala Yousafzai, and Helen Keller are sources of inspiration to people across the world, showing that even the most insurmountable barriers can be overcome with persistence and courage. These individuals serve as symbols of hope and remind others that change is possible, no matter the obstacles they face. Moreover, breaking barriers often leads to the creation of new opportunities and spaces. When one group or individual successfully challenges a barrier, they often open the door for others to follow. This ripple effect is particularly noticeable in the workforce and education. In many industries, there were once significant barriers based on gender, race, or socioeconomic status. Today, the breaking of these barriers has created more equitable access to career opportunities and educational resources. Women entering male-dominated fields, people of color advancing in spaces that once excluded them, and people with disabilities being provided with greater access and rights are all examples of how breaking barriers can reshape opportunities for entire groups of people. When these barriers fall, not only do the individuals directly affected benefit, but society as a whole also becomes enriched through a more diverse and inclusive talent pool. In the realm of sports, breaking barriers is particularly evident. Athletes who defy expectations based on race, gender, or physical limitations become icons, inspiring generations of people to pursue their dreams, regardless of the obstacles they may face. For instance, Jackie Robinson broke the racial barrier in Major League Baseball, paving the way for future generations of African American athletes to compete at the highest levels of sports. Similarly, athletes like Serena Williams and Simone Biles have revolutionized women's sports, breaking barriers in both performance and representation. These athletes' accomplishments go beyond their respective fields. They serve as symbols of perseverance, demonstrating that success is not confined by external limitations. In each of these cases, breaking barriers has had a profound effect, not only on the sports world, but on how we perceive and define ability and success in society. Breaking barriers also plays a critical role in fostering peace and conflict resolution. In many cases, the resolution of conflicts, whether between individuals or nations, comes about through the willingness of parties to break down the walls of mistrust, prejudice, and misunderstanding. whether it's in negotiating peace treaties, reconciling historical injustices, or simply reaching a mutual understanding between opposing viewpoints. Breaking barriers is a key element in the process of healing. By confronting difficult issues head-on and challenging deeply held beliefs, individuals and nations can move past their divisions and work toward a common goal. This is seen in the reconciliation processes in countries like South Africa, which sought to heal the wounds of apartheid, or in the peace processes that have taken place in the Middle East. While the road to peace is often long and fraught with challenges, breaking barriers provides a pathway forward, a means of bridging divides and fostering understanding. However, breaking barriers is not without its challenges. The resistance to change is often fierce, especially when it threatens established power structures. People who push against the status quo may face significant opposition, ranging from social ostracism to violent retaliation. It is important to recognize that breaking barriers comes with risks, and those who do so must often demonstrate extraordinary courage and resilience. Nevertheless, the rewards of breaking barriers far outweigh the costs. The act of challenging and dismantling barriers leads to greater freedom, opportunity, and progress for individuals and societies as a whole. It allows us to envision a world where limitations are constantly being reevaluated and possibilities are continuously expanding. In conclusion, the power of breaking barriers lies in its ability to create transformation on both personal and societal levels. It empowers individuals to transcend their own limitations, drives societal progress by challenging the status quo, and fosters innovation by encouraging new ways of thinking. Breaking barriers also serves as an inspiration for others, creating a ripple effect that encourages further action and growth. It opens doors of opportunity for marginalized communities, reshapes industries, and fosters greater inclusivity. While it may come with challenges and risks, the act of breaking barriers leads to a more equitable, diverse, and progressive world. The power of breaking barriers is not only in its ability to change individual lives, but in its potential to alter the course of history.